When things get intense for you for the rest of this month, I just want you to return to this video and be reminded that everything's actually all going according to plan. All will be well. And this is just growing pains, labor pains, if you will, for something new and beautiful to be born. The Olympics ends on August 11th, and the Democratic National Convention starts on August 19th. What does that have to do with this full moon? Well, we have a crazy astrological action from the 12th to around the 20th, so these major events existing right inside this timeline are going to be extremely influenced by the cosmos and what they're giving us. My loves, why we're here today, we have a full moon in Aquarius coming up on August 19th at 11:25 a.m. Pacific time, and it's actually a super moon. So we have a lot to talk about. I have my notes over here. I don't even know how I condensed it down to one video, but I really tried my best to give you an overview of what you can expect. We're going to talk about the energy of the second half of August, the full moon energy, which is absolutely just insane, massive. There's gonna be lots of talk about our experience as a collective in this full moon energy reading, because I am picking up on the world stage being really the thing that will be majorly impacted for the rest of this month. And what happens in the macro will also affect the micro and vice versa, right? I will then talk about what you're gonna likely experience in your own individual journey. We're going to talk about Mercury retrogrades offering us to us this August. We're going to talk about what's encouraged, what to be mindful of, and then we're going to end with a card pull and a couple journaling prompts to try to harness this intense energy to enhance our journey. And before we get into the video, while the world might be on fire outside, it's literally been 106 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 40 degrees Celsius or something in LA for the last month. I can be inside in the cool air, growing my daughter, and also growing my skill base with today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of creative classes in so many categories ranging from beginner to advanced. I've used Skillshare for years. I've talked about them for years. I'm a lifelong learner. I really value learning new skills and new hobbies and living in the flow of creation. I'm really looking forward to having access to Skillshare postpartum also. When I'm just kind of staying home and with the baby, I can put on a class and learn while I'm with her. I love that I can hop on there and learn from classes that are led by industry experts. There's classes on film, illustration, animation, design, entrepreneurship, writing, plants, photography. I've taken the most random classes that have really expanded my consciousness and my interests. I also love that there's a resource out there for anyone trying to start a new side hustle or even a new career, or just as importantly, a new hobby. And they can get on Skillshare and really get immersed in whatever they're interested in, immersed enough to even start a business from it. Recently, I took Skillshare Originals Creative Writing Bootcamp. It's Start a Brand New Story. This really helped me expand my creativity by taking the pressure off of my writing, encouraging me to get really creative with different writing prompts and experiences. I learned things that I hadn't known as a lifelong writer, and they were actually really fun to do. I really recommend it for anyone writing a novel or planning to one day, or anyone who just likes to write creatively. I wrote a short story while taking this class that I'm actually thinking to share with you guys. It's about soulmates who can only meet when they're asleep. Because Skillshare is sponsoring today's video, the first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So you can get started learning and improving your skills today. And let me know which classes you take if you take advantage of this, and I want to know what you're learning. Tell me about everything that you've learned. Full moons, as usual, times of completion, times of things coming into wholeness, a bright light being shined on the whole picture so we can see more clearly. The two words that keep sticking out to me during my full moon research specifically are truth and revealing. And since we have a super moon, that means that the moon's orbit is closer than usual. We can expect to feel the effects and the intensifying, heightened emotions of the full moon even more than usual. And in Aquarius, the full moon is highlighting our individual experience in relation to the collective consciousness. So it's a time when rebellious and unconventional energy is going to come to the forefront because the revolution is here. I think you've probably seen it. It started a bit ago, and this revolution is all about the people. This is the people's revolution. The energy is starting to be heightened and intensified even during the Lionsgate portal, which is on the 8th, which by the time this video is out, it will have passed already, but the energy will be building up for the rest of the month from that moment on. The most action we're gonna see will likely be from the 12th to the 20th. However, it's been so intense that as I was writing my notes for this video, I was predicting a stock market crash, specifically in the US, which will affect the rest of the world, of course, around the full moon. It actually already started right around the new moon, right around when Mercury went retrograde. That's how intense this energy is. I was picking up on it, but it manifested a lot earlier. The 18th and the 19th, that feels like that's the climax of this tense energy. From then it's gonna wane down, but quite slowly, so it'll continue to be intense a few days after the full moon. No one is going to miss the effects of the energy this month. It is loud, it's in your face, it's dramatic, it's grabbing your attention. Something shocking, surprising, potentially disturbing in some way is coming in some way out to the collective consciousness. This could be in several different ways. It's interesting because I was kind of playing with maybe it's going to be like a major earthquake or something, which I really hope not. And as I was working on it last night in Los Angeles, I was out with my husband and I noticed that the weather was a little off. And I mentioned that it's earthquake weather, and then we had an earthquake 2 hours later. So things are already shaking, and the energy for this month really is anything goes and anything will go. We're gonna see that specifically in the areas of society, of politics, of financial markets, and also the weather. Praying for whatever, however it manifests, to not be totally devastating, but it's looking like something big is coming. We all just have to collectively hold a brighter future in our minds, a vision of a brighter, happier world in our minds. Hopefully it won't be as devastating as it's kind of showing that it might be. August 19th, which is the date of the full moon, it's also the Democrat National Convention. For my sparsing of the news, I do believe that the elites are up to something. They're planning something big for this date or for before then, and they've been preparing for it for a bit now. There's some energy harvesting that was going on with the Olympics. It's related to this in some way. As to what it is, I really don't know. I can't even pretend that I know what goes on in their minds. We'll just have to stay tuned. But the way that this energy is going to affect us societally is things will happen that will encourage us questioning our governments. This is, again, the people's revolution, taking back our power and deciding we're not just peasants who will be ruled over, but we are actually active participants in our reality, and we are sovereign in our being. And we make the decisions. No one tells us how to think. This is going to come with social unrest, revolutions, riots. Of course, we've already seen this energy manifesting in places such as Venezuela, which there's a lot of government distrust right now, rightfully so from what I'm understanding. Please don't come after me. There's enough going on in the world. The UK also, there's riots there, and the US has continuously had riots for almost a year now. Our conversation is going to likely be shaped around something that happened in the past that's going to impact the way that we experience the news today. We're gonna likely continue to see economic changes, again, to do with the stock market. Again, I wrote this in my notes for before the stock market began to crash, and here we are in the beginning of a real crash. We're gonna see where this takes us. So yes, a lot is going on in the world, but I want you to remember that even though so much will be happening, your individual journey and your lived experience is so important. What you do in your daily life and how you live your life, how you show up in the world, will affect the world at large. So yes, contribute your energy to whatever movements and social movements and demonstrations that feels right for you, but also please remember to tend to your personal journey, tend to your own vessel, to your own temple. Don't forget yourself and your loved ones. And Mercury retrograde is actually going to make sure that you don't forget yourself and your loved ones and your health, and we'll talk about that in a second. On a personal level, you're going to likely feel super heightened emotions around the full moon. My advice for that is, as always, to refrain from overindulging on alcohol and drugs, actually staying away from anything mind-altering at all, and rather experiencing and fully feeling what comes up for you, because this full moon, lots of supermoons, can actually be sort of like a psychedelic trip that's bringing shadow work, that's bringing us into ourselves so that we can integrate our shadows. Each full moon is an opportunity to follow your triggers like breadcrumbs and to integrate and to process what's weighing you down so that you can be born anew when the new moon comes around. While we may be faced with huge surprises, there's also an opportunity for massive awakening and massive breakthroughs. If you've been needing a breakthrough, if you've been needing to get through something big that's been holding you back for a long time, you're going to really have the opportunity to break through to the next level around this full moon. It might come in the form of a challenge, but if it does, let's get into Mercury retrograde, because I'll talk a little bit more about that. So we have Mercury retrograde in Virgo and then in Leo since the 5th of this month. And this retrograde is really asking us to focus on fixing things in our lives. It's bringing our attention to anything that is broken or weak or unhealthy in our individual experience. It's something that needs healing, okay? I don't know how this is showing up for you, but pay attention to your health, to your loved one's health, to your pet's health. Things are going to come up to be taken care of. Things might not go as smoothly for a project as you wanted. I want you to be open to being more flexible in how you interact with it, to making adjustments, to putting in more time and more effort to get it done, and just take it slow. Really use this cycle to revisit anything that's been left undone or left unfinished, and tend to the details. Get it done slowly, get it done diligently. Mercury retrograde is always an opportunity, and this opportunity is really to get healthy, to fix anything that's broken, and to get back to a strong, positive place by the time that September comes around. So what's encouraged during this time, and how do we get through this time gracefully and to the best of our ability? So on a personal level, I want you to really spend some time reflecting. Quiet all distraction and noise for a little while at least, so you can figure out what's going on in your mind and in your heart. Reflect on your goals, revisit any past ideas that might still feel alive for you. Journal a lot. It's going to be super easy to be distracted by everything happening outside, out there on the world stage, but I want you to look inside and check in with yourself continuously. Because when challenges arrive, how amazing is it if you can look at them as opportunities to fix things, right? To process, to integrate, to think outside the box, and to overcome any adversity in order to be a more expanded and wise version of yourself. Nothing is happening to you. It's always happening for you and for your evolution. And things might be changing for you right now in some way. See if you can ease up a bit, not hold on for dear life to keeping things as they were, and enjoy the changes as much as you can instead. The full moon is also a really good time for attending social events. Despite the chaotic energy in the world, being with others is encouraged. Just while attending these social events, prioritize being fully yourself. Don't try to fit in. Your uniqueness is what makes you appealing. And also just a note, if you feel, because it just happened to me, if you feel your energy is kind of scattered right now, just kind of go with it. Feel into where your higher self is guiding you, and follow the universe's spontaneous guidance as well. Take things day by day and just revel in the unfolding of this great mystery, because no one knows what's coming. What should we be cautious of? I feel like I've given you quite a bit to keep an eye out for, but on a personal level, just be cautious of not paying attention to any warning signs that might arise. Pay attention to what the universe is saying to you and sending your way, specifically in terms of health, or of anything breaking down technologically, or of anything that you have to do contractually. That might be a challenge you have to navigate, and it's going to lead to your transcendence, so it's perfect. Also, be cautious of misunderstandings always during Mercury retrograde. And also on the full moon between 11:26 a.m. Pacific, 1 minute after the full moon is exact, up to until about 4 p.m. that day, we have a void of course moon. So take that time to chill, to reflect, to not start anything new. I want to give you a couple journal prompts, and then I'm going to do a quick card reading to see if we have any message for us. Number 1, and these will be in the description. What belief do you currently have that feels outdated or limiting? Rewrite this belief system and choose to adopt it starting this full moon. Number 2, What truth about your life is being revealed to you right now, and how can you integrate this truth into your daily actions? And number 3, what is resurfacing from the past right now? And what actions and steps can you take to finally let it go or to heal it? If you want to answer those in the comments below, I'm sure it'll help so many people going deeper into their own answers. You might find people going through similar things. Now, we have a card. The card I chose is number 14, Let Love Transform. I like that one. I've never picked that one. And as always, everybody always asks, we always use the Rumi Oracle guidebook, the Alana Fairchild. Maybe one day I'll switch, but it just feels like a part of our ritual for now. Love is my medicine, intelligent medicine. It takes death and makes it a passageway into greater life. What genius is this? A genius that will render anything and everything as a pathway to life. I have found a bench upon which we may be seated. Nay, not a bench, a love seat. It is carved of precious ruby. It sits under the gentle shade of an ancient tree that thrives in love's garden. Come sit with me, beloved, as we let the whispers of the great beloved penetrate our hollowed ears, carried upon the sweet afternoon breeze. As the sun begins to set, the colors become vibrant. Even if we are deaf to the beloved's tender whispers, we shall not be blind. We shall be captured by the vivid display of the beloved's artistry and be transported into peace. This oracle comes to you as a living spiritual gift. Whether you realize it or not, you have triumphed. You have blossomed, succeeded, cast aside that which was unworthy, and taken up love's way. How much delight there is from all those that walk this way of love, of life, to find another precious companion in their midst. You are welcomed into this world where love finds a way. There is nothing impossible for love. It is not bound by the mind. And because of this, all manner of miraculous grace works through it in endless creative variety. The great beloved is a show-off, creating with such genius as to be breathtaking. Were we able to remain always in the heart, we would be constantly breathless, in a fit of appreciation and awe so great, truly there would not even be a slither of emptiness through which fear could enter. I feel that this oracle is guiding us and bringing us back into the heart in a time that might be potentially volatile and tumultuous and slightly chaotic at times. The answer always is to live from the heart, to act from the heart, to choose the most hearty choice available to us at all moments. My loves, I'm Leeor Alexandra. This is the Bee Community. On this channel, we talk about spirituality and personal development, and I do these moon energy readings a couple times a month. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please join the community. Please share the video, like the video right now so that the algorithm gods know that this channel is still alive and well, and will start to recommend it to more people who really need it. I love you. Thank you for spending time with me, and until next time, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.